Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to go back to Saturday and Sunday of the previous week, and it is time for us to rebook Money in the Bank and rebook NXT Heat Wave of how I would have booked it if I was sitting in the seat of Mr. Paul Levesque, Shawn Michaels, or Jason Jordan backstage in the Gorilla Monsoon position back there. If I was sitting back there with the headset on, with the notepad, hey, I'm prepared. I brought my trusty notepad with me. I brought my pen and paper, my pencils, everything with me. So I'm ready to rebook. But before I even go to Saturday's Money in the Bank, got to give a shout out to my main man, Mouthing Off with Mike. Thanks for the merchandise. Really appreciate it. My daughter Mackenzie now says, Dad, you better get me a black and pink shirt that says Mouthing Off Mike. So definitely we'll be getting that. Also just put an order in for another shirt for another group that I'm getting one coming by. So definitely looking forward to wearing everybody's merchandise right here on our show, Wrestler Dynasty on Boom Broadcasting. So shout out to Mouthing Off with Mike with a nice shirt. Also got another one getting ready to come through. Let's go to Money in the Bank back Saturday. Let's jump in the time machine, put on our portal. I don't got my shades. Where's my shades at? My producer, he hid them somewhere. He didn't want me to wear them. Put my shades on. Let's travel back in the time machine, back to Saturday. Let's look at what we did right. And let's look at what was wrong. First match, Money in the Bank match. If you go back to last Saturday on my podcast, I predicted Chad Gable to win this match. Drew won, and I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change it because I feel like this is a match that Gable came out as a winner. He's a heel. He's established as a heel now. We're getting more, the you suck chants are getting bigger and bigger. And still, I did like that even when he had that little hot streak, when he hit that catalysm collision suplex, well, German suplex, well, he does the roll up, then does it. Even when he hit that, people wanted to cheer, but they still said, you still suck. So Chad is getting over as a heel, and I tell you, man, he's hot. Gable's hot. Please get behind this guy. He's got everything. Andrade did good in the match. Carmelo was the breakout. I did say on my show last week that I did not want Carmelo to become the Kofi Kingston of the Money in the Bank matches. I think after watching this match, he can be taken seriously if he's put back in another one. It is a good opportunity that he could win because I really thought at one point he was coming away from this match with the briefcase. Won't rebook this one. Drew won it. Drew should have won it. LA Knight, man, the fans are still behind him. We're behind him. Come on, WWE. Put a mid-card title on him. Put something on him. He needs a title right now because it just feels like every time he does not win the big one, you feel like they're getting ready to just pull him away and he's going to start losing that fan momentum. Put a title on him by SummerSlam. Next match we had was the Intercontinental match. I picked Braun Breaker. We're rebooking this. I told you, I love Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn is the Ricky Morton, Shawn Michaels of my lifetime now because he can sell. And I told you, just one thing about Shawn. Shawn sold for who he wanted to sell for. So if you're one of his guys, he sold. If you want one of his guys, hey, you may not get a good sale. Ricky Morton with Rock and Roll Express sold for every big competitor that the Rock and Roll Express went against. That's Sammy. Sammy sold well in this match. Thought Braun was going to win. If I was sitting backstage, I would rebook this one. So we're going up to Stanford. I got my sign, my picket sign. We want to rebook this match. I think you just heard Braun Breaker. And I hate to say that because the sky is the limit for him. Great run on NXT. But I think not allowing him to win this match and losing cleanly to Sami Zayn, and Sami's no knock. I'm a big Sami guy. Man, big Sami guy. But I think you just hurt him farthest his continuation on with the run. Where does he go after this? We wanted Braun to come out and just abuse Sami, beat him down, beat him to Sami just could not get up no more. 1, 2, 3. Have you hurt Braun in the future? My thing is, I think you have. I want to see what happens to Braun after this, and it starts on Monday Night Raw. Seeing where we go. He could come on Raw and he could win. He could go on SmackDown, win the U.S. title. He could go back to NXT on Tuesday night and win the NXT title for the new champ. So just a lot I want to see with this. Just a lot that we need to digest in on that one, but I think we got it wrong on that one, WWE. if you ask me. Then we got Cena's surprise. When I saw heard Cena's music coming, I knew it. You thought it would be last year, but I think they stretched it out. But it's time. It's time. Cena has did a marvelous 20-year run with WWE. He has been at the top of them since recently. He was the most committed, hardworking guy that they have had for longevity. Most people after 10, 12 years when they start breaking into the movie industry, you see them like The Rock slip away and just come back sporadically for big appearances. Cena still found a way to be on a lot of shows. And it's time. It's time. You know it's time. Everybody knows it's time. It's going to be hard because, I mean, before COVID, pre-COVID, Cena was definitely still in before he was really rolling in the movies, where he was still balancing both. It was the house show that I could not catch John Cena on. He was still main eventing the house shows. So, hats off to this guy. Electric, illustrious career with WWE. All-time great. Could probably go down in the next 5 to 10 years as we start saying he's on that category of the GOAT, of the greatest of all time in WWE. And that's a very slim, picky category. But what makes Cena the same thing when we'll say about The Miz when he retires is the longevity that both of these guys had with the company. And the past 4 or 5 years, Cena kind of slowed down his road, but he was able still to come back on some Raws, do some house shows, and do premium live events. So it's time. It's time for Cena. We always said after the Peacemaker stuff with HBO, that all the movies he's been in, it was time for him to start leaning towards that way. So I can really see Cena now focusing more on Hollywood, because probably a lot of things that he did turn down because he knew, I want to at least be on one of the big four. So it's time for Cena to go. So no surprise will be on that. Soon the music hit, I knew it was that time. Then we got the World Heavyweight Championship match. Boy, we're rebooking this one. Hey, I'm back in Stamford, Connecticut. I got my sign, WWE. Here's my book. Take some notes and let's rebook it. Drew McIntyre. Wow. Why do we need him to cash in? Why? Why could he not hold the briefcase just a little bit longer? And I know he said that was the prophecy, win the Money in the Bank, cash in that Money in the Bank, win the title. But you got to sometimes scratch that, because Punk costing him the title in this match, to me, and my personal thoughts, does not establish the Punk and McIntyre. It doesn't give it more flame to the fire. Now, a lot of people say it does, but to me it don't, because Punk has already done the ultimate thing you can do. Drew had Damian beat at Clash at the Castle. We wanted Drew to win at home. He's 0-2 when he's at home. Clash at the Castle is his pay-per-view. It's what it was made for. Punk cost him that win at Clash at the Castle. What more could we do to be upset at Punk, to want something to Drew to be able to get his hands on and say, you know what? When we get in this ring, I'm going to drag you all around and beat you down like you owe me money. What more could we want? This did not have to happen. You could have let this been a one-on-one match and had Damian pin Rollins clean versus Drew cashing in the middle of the match and pinning Drew. So now, let's say we get Drew and Punk at SummerSlam. I hate to say it, but I think Punk will go over, because I'm starting to lose faith and confidence in McIntyre. When he won Money in the Bank, I was like, okay, we're getting back on the right track. We're getting there. They're showing that, hey, Punk cost him the title, but now he holds the briefcase. Hold the briefcase for 3 to 6 months, 9 months. Hold it to 12 months. Hold it to the last day, last minute, last hour if you can before cashing in. Do something like that before we had what we had tonight. But that's just me. I would rebook it. That's just my thoughts. Women's Money in the Bank. My pick was either Chelsea Green or Zoe Starks. My daughter Mackenzie pick was Tiffany Stratton. She was right on this one. She's a big TV Time person, big TV Time fan. The right person won. Yes, I wanted Chelsea to win because I feel like Chelsea with the briefcase would have meant more, because she would have got that briefcase over more than Tiffany. But I have a lot of confidence in Tiffany. I think Tiffany, first of all, the promo she could have get Trish Stratus about the Hall of Fame thing, I mean, that was golden. That was golden during the interview segment. That's why I feel like now I have confidence that Tiffy can do exactly what I thought Chelsea Green could do with the briefcase. And great story they sold in this one with Chelsea Green overcoming her fear of heights. Chelsea Green's got big things for her, man. I've been said that about her since she won the tag titles. I just think that she is a heel that knows how to get under your skin. So she comes out a big winner in this one right here. Now to our main event, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. Great match. Not the match of the night. To me, the Women's Money in the Bank was the match of the night. Then number two would have been this one. Great match right here. I said Kevin Owens had to take the pin. Boy. Because I wanted to protect Cody as the champ, where Solo could say, hey, we beat your team. That puts me in line. But WWE, I was wrong. Hey, WWE, I was wrong in my notebook, and you were right in your notebook. Because in order to establish Solo versus Cody, Solo had to pin him for the 1-2-3 clean. Great match. I think they took their time, told a great story. Man, Jacob Fatu, that guy, he's amazing, man. I told everybody today that I talked with about this match is that Jacob Fatu, signing him, WWE has just did something, and you're talking about maybe 8 months to a year down the road, where you can have a whole year of him and Cody just passing the belt back and forth, passing the belt. So I think they did very good with that one right here. I think they did the right thing. Jacob didn't need to pin him. Tama Tonga didn't need to pin him. Yes, Tonga Low did kind of botch the spot, but a lot of people talked about it. But to me, I didn't think it was a botch. I think it was more of he went for the low blow first, and I think Kevin Owens, hats off to Kevin Owens because he did sell it. That when he hit him, he hit me, but he didn't hit me. So he waited for him to hit him again to actually give the big sell. So Kevin Owens did save that spot. I mean, but I didn't see a reason to call him out for the botch on that. I thought it was actually, you asked me, I thought it was pre-planned. Hey, Kevin Owens blocked it. He felt me coming. I'm going for a second one. So I'm not upset with that. But I'll come out of this match feeling very confident. Like I said, Jacob Fatu, to me, was the star of the match. He stole the show. That whisper in the wind was just, I said it again, said it on Nightcap, I said it again. It was sick. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's 280, 290, doing the move that Jeff Hardy mainly does. So, think about that right there. But he stole the match. And they have something within the next year that you can have Jacob and Cody going all year long, just passing that belt like a hot potato between both of them. So that's how I would rebook it. A lot of things went right. Giving this pay-per-view right here a B+. Men's Money in the Bank was good. Felt Gable should have won. If Gable didn't win it, Jey Uso should have won it. But I thought they really had done the right thing with Drew. What made me drop it from an A- to a B+ was not Drew winning it, but Drew cashing in, and then they having Damian beat Drew again for the 1-2-3 within a matter of a month and a half. That's what dropped me down because I'm looking like you're making me lose confidence in this Drew and Punk match. Yes, Punk is causing Drew to lose these matches, but wins and losses start to add up in my personal book of can I take this person seriously for the next match. So that's my take right on Money in the Bank. That's how I would rebook it, not rebake it. That's how I would rebook it right here on Wrestling Dynasty Podcast. Now let's jump into NXT that happened on Sunday night. Would I rebook it or would I keep it the same? Then we're going to tell you which pay-per-view this weekend won the WWE PLV award from me. So I'm not going to do the pre-show match. I'm going to skip that one. It was a great match. Very good match. But I'm going to go to the main card. So the first one was the North American Champion, Wesley, who to me was a great NXT North American Champion, versus Obi. Man, I'm telling you, every time I watch Obi wrestle, he just continuously wins me over. This guy has everything you need. It's not time for him to drop the title yet. Maybe another big main pay-per-view, not SummerSlam, maybe like Survivor Series. Let's hold it to Survivor Series, then have him drop it, then let's call him up to the main roster after Survivor Series is what I'm thinking. But great match between both of them. Wesley, just good compared to Obi. This guy's making me believe in him more and more. So wouldn't change this one. Match was awesome. Could have been one of the match of the nights. But when they open up this out right here, Most time with NXT, when they open up hot like they did with this match, you know, you rubbing your hands like, oh man, oh baby, strap on the seatbelt. We're going for a ride because it's going to be a good night on NXT. So good match right here. Wouldn't change nothing. Match 2, the Women's North American Championship match. Kayla Jordan versus Sola Roca. I picked Kayla, say that 3 times fast. I picked her to win. My daughter picked Soleil to win. I felt like if you had Kayla just win this title at the last Premium Live event, you don't want to just be a one pay-per-view champ. So I felt, well, you go back, I wanted Lash Legend to win, but that's another day, another story, another episode. But Kayla Jordan, this was a good match. And this is a prime example of 2 people who have never been on the indies in wrestling. They came straight to the Performance Center from a background and totally something different. Learning, listening to their coaches, doing it right, and taking advice from everybody, whether it was good advice or bad advice, constructive criticism. It shows in a match like this with 2 people who you would say, okay, this is a green match with 2 green people. It's not going to be a good match. This was a great match. I was on the edge of my seat the entire match. I would not change this match at all. Kayla should have won. She won. She needs to have at least another 3 to 4 month title run before dropping it. But I'm telling you, Solo really showed me that she's ready. So maybe in 4 to 5 months, you run it back and you put the strap on Solo. Good match right here. Wouldn't change this one at all. So right now, NXT is, if I'm keeping score, I'm 0-2 because most of the time I want to rebook stuff. They're 2-0. So right now, the Black and Gold, that's why I wanted my with Mike, Black and Gold NXT colors. They're winning right now. This match, I gave it an A. I was very impressed with this match. That 450 that Kayla took with the knees, wow. Man, made me gasp for her. NXT Tag Team Championship match. Here we go. That was my match of the night. Chase U, man, I'm telling you, they have already won me over. But by God, you know, I told you, I'm an NWA guy, WCW old school guy. This right here was old school tag team wrestling at its finest. I would not change this match. I'm not even going to make an assumption of what went right, what went wrong. This was just a perfect old school tag team match. Somewhere, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, Jim Cornette, the Hart Foundation, the Rockers, everybody is somewhere. Hey, FTR, they're somewhere standing up clapping. And man, I tell you, this is a match I wouldn't mind. I'll throw this out there. At the way Chase U is going in these type of tag matches when they're cooking like this, man, it makes you really want FTR to come back to NXT to give me one more. I mean, they're turning up over there AEW. But hey, FTR, they got some competition in NXT now that can make you guys not have to call a 5-star match, but be able to get with another team and have a 5-star match. You know, DIY and FTR was some great series, and I think with Chase U, they can have that. NXT Women's Championship match. Not changing this one. Right now, NXT now is 4-0, and I'm 0-4 in my book. Not changing this one. Pop Rock Roxanne Perez, love her to death, man. She is the prodigy. She's doing everything right. She's just hitting on those small things that does good. And Lola did good in this match. I told you. I told you on Nightcap the other week. Leaving out of Tuesday night, Lola made me buy into this match that she had a chance to defeat Roxanne. She cut probably one of the best promos I've seen this year for a woman. So I thought it was going to be a good match. Lola and Roxanne could probably run this back another 2 to 3 months. And you could probably put the belt on Lola when you're ready to call Roxanne up. But it's Roxanne's time right now. And she's holding NXT down. And I mean, she's doing a lot for NXT right now. And put on a good match. I gave this one a B+. And I mean, right now, so if you're NXT, you start off hot with Obi and Wesley. Then you go right into the NXT North American Women's match with Kayla Jordan Sola. That was a good match, an A match. Then you go into a hot tag team match for the tag titles. That was A match. Then you get a hot women's championship match. So NXT right now is on fire. Now we get to the main event. And hats off to NXT. You get the Golfer's Clap tonight. Golfer's Clap. Remember that one. NXT has showed other promotions, and I can't call out WWE because they are affiliated with WWE, and they showed AEW, and I'm a big AEW fan. I like AEW, no knock on them. They showed NWA, they showed New Japan, they showed Ring of Honor. You don't have to have a 10-match card to have a great pay-per-view. You can trim this thing down to, let's see, how many matches we had again? You had one on the pre-show. You had the North American match with Obi. Then you had the North American women's match with Solo and Carlina. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then you had the Chase U match. That was 4. Then you had the women's match. That was 5. Then you had the NXT Championship match. That was 6. You don't have to stack a card up with 10 to 12 matches to have a good night. You can end a pay-per-view, a premium live event at 9:30, 9:45 on a Sunday night, and people are not tired in the morning when they get up to go to work. You don't have to be up to 11 o'clock midnight on Eastern Standard Times to do this. You can end early, and then we can jump over here on Boom Broadcasting, catch the nightcap. You don't have to end it at 11, 12. So outstanding job, NXT. Another golfer's clap for your work on this. But I'm rebooking this one. This is the only one I'm rebooking. I'm rebooking this one. NXT. You're not getting away that quick off me. You're not getting off the hook. I'm rebooking this one. Now, I will say this. Trick Williams, I told everybody on my show, told them on Nightcap on Tuesday night, it was coming to an end. You just felt it. He hit at the right time and blossomed at the right time. Coming out of the thing with Carmelo, he blossomed. Carmelo turned on him, making him even more of a big babyface. Was the icing on the cake. He just blossomed. Some people just blossom at the right time. And when I compare this blossom at the right time to another person's, I'm not saying that they are similar in the ring. I'm just saying both of them hit strides at the right time. And I'm talking about Bill Goldberg back in WCW when Goldberg went on that electric undefeated streak to a U.S. title, to a World Heavyweight title. Goldberg was not the best performer in the ring, but he just clicked and blossomed at the right time where you started wanting to see him every week. That's how Trick was. The difference between Trick is, Trick's not the best performer in the ring, but Trick can cut a promo. And Trick has good microphone skills. That was something Goldberg didn't have. So that's why Goldberg kept it simple. You're next. You know, hey, that was the best part they had. I'm not a talker. I'm just gonna look and say, you're next, and walk out the ring. That's what made Goldberg so special. They gave him that nostalgia to make you want to keep tuning in. Is this person gonna be next? Can he beat him? Trick just blossomed at the right time. But you feel like with Trick's blossom that sooner or later, that blossom has to come back down. And I'm not saying that Trick should now go on a losing streak or fade to black, but it's time to move the title. And tonight you put the title on Ethan Page, who's a great wrestler. And I think put it on a heel like Ethan Page, you have something to build to. Something to build to that's very strong to build to with that, because now you have Trick chasing him. My pick was Shawn Spears. I felt like Shawn Spears needed this title run because kind of like when Dolph Ziggler won it. It was kind of a good send-off. I think Shawn Spears could have been a good transitional holder to maybe get it back to Trick or get it to Javon for Ethan Page to take it from one of them. But I felt like you should have gave it to Shawn Spears, somebody with a little more experience and more veteran. Nothing against Ethan Page. Guy's got a ton of indie work out on the indies, ton of work in other promotions. So, you know, the right person has the belt. But I would have just gave it to Shawn Spears, had maybe within another month or two, Javion beat Spears, Javion or Trick beat Spears. Now you have that set up with a one-on-one match with Ethan Page where Ethan gets to win. Didn't like the ending because Trick hits the Trick knees on Javion, then hits on Ethan Page. Ethan Page falls on Trick, 1, 2, 3. Shawn Spears is holding the leg. So there's going to be some conspiracy that comes out of that part that I'm waiting to see. Did like that Trick went off this evening. He did go off. Well, last evening he went off. Did like that, but he didn't push as far as Drew did. So I would just rebook that and put the title on Spears on more of a established heel. But, you know, now you got some set up where Trick's chasing Ethan Page. And Ethan Page is not going to be a bad heel, but that's just how I would have booked it. But we'll see what happens. We got a whole lot more weeks to go before we get to SummerSlam. Whole lot more weeks to go before we get to NXT Premium Live event. One more thing I want to say. Now we talk about post shows. Trick did good of going off. He was outraged. Hey, got to give a shout out to Trick for rocking the old WCW Booker T Harlem Heat shorts. Thought that was a good homage right there to Booker T. A lot of people didn't catch that, but when I seen the flames on the side, I was like, oh man, that's Booker T all the way. Went back. Booker T was white, red, orange with some black trim. I think Trick trim was white, orange, red with some yellow trim. But hey, that was Booker T homage all the way. Really thought it was real cool of him. Biggest thing I did want to leave out before we sign off was the post show with Drew. So now Drew is suspended indefinitely according to Adam Pearce. If I'm WWE, you missed the mark the first time. I'm going to say it right here. When you suspend him when he quit the first time and you suspended him, Drew should have showed up on TNA. WWE, turn up your tablet, laptop, desktop, computer speakers, smartphone, smartwatch, TV, however you listen to Wrestling Dynasty podcast right here on Boom Broadcasting. If somebody from WWE is listening, please turn this up and listen to the words that I'm about to say. And I will say them very slowly so that you can hear me and make sure that you put this in your booking notebook and say you stole this idea from Shawn right here on my show. Drew McIntyre has to show up in TNA now. You got the partnership. He's been in TNA. They know him over in TNA. He has to show up now. During this little kayfabe era where he's suspended, show up in TNA, and that puts more fuel to the fire. He don't even have to wrestle. Have him go to TNA and just have him cut a promo on Punk at TNA. I'm suspended from WWE, but Punk, I'm here at TNA. This is where I came and I found myself, became one with myself, got back established doing what I love to do, which was wrestling in the ring in front of these fans, TNA. And when my suspension's over with, we can do it in TNA, we can do it at WWE, we can do it at NXT, anywhere you pick. I want to face you. If Drew comes out at TNA and cuts a promo similar to something like that, then I'm telling you, that would be the icing on the cake to make this even more better than what it will be when it happens. So that's what I would do if I was Drew right now. If I was WWE, I would be on the phone saying, McIntyre's on a flight. He'll be there Thursday night to cut a promo. Opening promo of your show, TNA, Drew McIntyre walks out. Do you know how many people would tune in that's not watching? I mean, I watch on Thursday night. But think about the casual fan who only watches TNA when somebody from NXT is going to show up. If the word gets out that Drew's going to be at TNA, or that they don't even announce it, TNA comes on, he walks out. Do you know how many people are going to be texting? Everybody's going to tune in. This is right now time. If you're TNA, you want to capitalize on this. And if you're WWE, you got a chance to make a big moment. Very big moment. If we know Triple H, we know he's all about making big moments. This could happen. This could happen. Just think about Triple H when he drove to take the WCW over there in Virginia. He wanted to be on both channels. WCW would not open up the door, even though Hall and Nash wanted to. If you know Triple H, this could happen. That's what I'll be doing. Don't forget to tune in to all the other content this week right here on Boom Broadcasting. Make sure you tune in to everything we got going on. I'll be back on Saturday with Wrestling of Dynasty Part 2. This was Part 1, Part 2. So this is Shawn. I'm signing off. And don't forget, as I always say, support indie wrestling no matter what it is. If indie wrestling's in your town, in your city, in your state, go out and support people over there that's running the indies, working on these shows. They need all the support they can get from fans like us. This is Shawn. I'll see you on Wrestling Dynasty.